Okay, one final example here. We're asked to find the asymptotes for the function f here. A good place to start is enter this into your calculator. So you can go to your y equals button, enter in that function. Be careful with brackets. I would suggest putting brackets around your entire denominator because I want all of this quadratic to be the denominator. Take a look at what the graph looks like. Okay, what the heck is going on here? It looks like I have a horizontal asymptote on the x-axis here, going back and forth. And it looks like maybe I've got a vertical asymptote here and a vertical asymptote here. Now just sort of guessing, it looks like it's about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But is it exactly 5? Is it 4.9? Is it 5.13? How do you know? It's really hard to see just by looking at your calculator. Okay, again, that's where going back and sort of analyzing the function can help. Because remember, you're going to see asymptotes anytime you have a 0 in the denominator. So when is this whole piece going to be equal to 0? Well, that's just solving a quadratic equation, which you already know how to do. Sometimes the quickest way to solve a quadratic would be to try to factorize this. Put x and x here. Let's see, maybe if we put a minus 5 and a plus 1. See, just double check with FOIL. Yep, that should be our quadratic factorized, and if this is equal to 0, then the two places that are going to be problematic here, if x is 5 or if x is equal to -1. Again, if you go back and look at your graph, -1, that appears to be one of our vertical asymptotes. X equals 5 appears to be our other. So again, it helps to look at the graph, but you can kind of get there by doing a little bit of mathematics as well. Now remember what we said about horizontal asymptotes. You're looking at the end behavior. What happens when x is really big? Now because there's only an x in the top, but in the bottom I have an x squared, imagine as x gets really, really big, this is going to get closer and closer and closer to 0. If I take 4 times 1,000, I get 4,000, but then I have 1,000 squared in the bottom. If I take 4 times 1,000,000,000, I have 4 billion, but I have 1,000,000,000 squared in the bottom. Because this power is bigger than the power in the numerator, the denominator is always going to overtake it. Therefore, this entire fraction is going to go to 0. Again, you can see that from the graph, but it helps to think about a little bit of the mathematics as well when you're searching for these vertical asymptotes.